Had a bit of an emotional roller coaster this week with some of the news that has come out and things that have come about. Kind of one of the things I wanted to talk about. We don't talk about this kind of stuff on the show normally, but it has affected so many people, and so many people have questions, and maybe we have answers. I don't know. But TikTok was banned for 13 hours, kinda, sorta, and is back, kinda, sorta. So I guess my first question is, Don, do you ever go on TikTok?
No, the only time I went on TikTok is when the rest of social media was like TikTok banned. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, I'll be damned. And it had the message about, oh, we're temporarily, or no, we could get shut down. We're shut down, but hopefully President Trump will help us. And oh, look, President Trump help us. We're back now. And then boom, that's it. I haven't touched it since. So
Yeah,
like this was all a stunt. It's just yeah.
it it
It's
it
more
it definitely came off as a PR stunt. So from my understanding, because I have been following it kinda closely, it was so Fight Dance, I think is the name of the company that owns TikTok, and they decided they they banned it themselves, like, they blocked the United States themselves,
hmm
and then they brought it back. But here's the whole thing that, like, everyone's forgetting and, like, everyone's celebrating when it came back, like, there's still a law that's saying they're not allowed to be in the United States as long as they're owned by, the Chinese government and are collecting the data that they're collecting, and I'm sure none of that changed. It was just a temporary block, and people sit there and they go, "Oh, well, these social media companies all collect our data," except there is a couple things that, I mean, unfortunately, China is hostile to us in some ways. It's a communist country. I know people don't like to say those kinds of things, but it's true. I'm sure we're not gonna get money viewers in China. I'm not worried about that. And and
could get so
they're more aggressive than any other companies, and I think the ban proved it because I'm in some IT groups on Facebook, and they were talking about how to get around the ban. The only way you could get it to work was if you needed to use a VPN to
hmm
say you were in another country, a different account because they kept track of what country you said you were from when you signed up, and then you had to have a fresh install on a fresh phone that had never logged into TikTok before, because they're tracking the information about the phones that you use and all that stuff, and it's like and they're storing that information, so that's a little scary. Let's see. Every country is hostile to every other country, I
country.
think you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Yeah. In some way or another, yes, I don't disagree with
Sure.
that, sentiment, Kassan. But that's the thing, like, it's scary, and it's funny because I worked at an that's actually how John and I met. The company we worked at was hosted advertising for online. So, you like, when you go to a website and there's a little banner at the top and an ad pops in it, and if you're refreshing, a different ad pops in it. Well,
Do I ever?
there's companies that control those assets and what shows up and stuff. And I learned working there just how much data is collected on your computer whenever you log on to any website.
Sure.
And my argument's always been, no, like, yes, I understand why they collect the data because the advertisers want it, because they want to they want to send an ad to you, Don, specifically that will you're more likely to click on. And it's true because we were doing it back then, and this is going back a while ago. I'm sure it's way more advanced now. Like, they knew you're more like if it was a car ad, you're more likely to click on a red car ad than a blue card ad. So the
hmm
asset changes. The image that you get shown changes based on that information that they collect on you. So, but there's the other side of the coin that no one talks about is the people who make the hardware you use, your iPhone, your laptop, your tablet, whatever it is, should make it a little more difficult to take that information off of your computer to be able to store it to use to advertise to you. Like, no one talks about that side of it. It's always like, oh, look at the data they're collecting. Why is it so easy to get that data? You know,
Because a
why?
lot of people don't know.
I know.
There's a lot of things like that that you think would be talked about more, but just your regular everyday user of technology, doesn't realize that, like, when they save a file, let's say a file or a picture they don't ever want anyone to see, so they, oh, let me delete that. All it does is take the first bit of memory and change it to an E5, which
Uh-huh.
tells the hard drive, hey, you can save over me if you want to, but you're
Uh-huh.
probably not gonna, because there's at this point free programs that'll look at that and completely restore whatever image or file it was, because all it has to do is change that E5 to whatever. And yeah,
Right.
with the algorithms and everything, it's been super easy for decades at this point.
Yeah.
So people don't realize how much shit is just out there and will be out there and on their devices.
Oh, well, the
Yeah,
internet's forever. Like, you can't
yeah,
once it's out there, it's out there forever. You can't Pandora put as Pandora's box goes, you can't put it back in. Yeah, for layman, the basically imagine your hard drive like a book with an index at the front, and when you erase a file, all it does is erase the index entry. It doesn't actually delete the file,
right.
you know? So that's yeah. And there are ways around to actually delete the file, but most people just hit the delete key and go, "Oh, it's gone." Nope, no, no, no.
No,
Even if you empty the trash, it's still not gone or recycle bin or whatever your operating systems has. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, I do think it's interesting. I would say to anyone using TikTok, and hey, look, we put our shorts out on TikTok as well, and we do well on there. We do better on there than we do on definitely on Instagram. I can't figure out Instagram to save my life, and a little bit better than we do on YouTube with our shorts. But and do it with caution because the law still exists. Like
yeah.
the thought is that Trump is going to sign an executive order to say not to enforce it, but the next person that gets in can just reverse that and say, "Nope, go after them," and then you might be liable for using it when it was banned. I don't know, and I'm waiting to get more information about that side of it. You still can't download it from the App Store. Like, they took it out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can't download it anymore, and it even says, like, if you go to the App Store and look it up, it'll say, "This application is, banned in your region." So, because I'm telling you right now, Google and Mac or Apple were told, "Do not until they change the law, do not put the app in there because if it doesn't change, you'll be liable for having it in there." So, they're just covering their butts, and I think people should be that's all I'm saying is people should be careful going forward. If you wanna keep using it, but, look at, like, just do shorts on YouTube. You can you know if you were figuring out how to do it on TikTok, you can do it on YouTube. It just takes time and knowing how to use the right keywords and all that stupid stuff, but it works. So, we get views somehow. We got, people watching us right now.
Yeah,
Go figure.
absolutely.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Superhero Speak podcast. And don't forget to watch us live every Sunday night right here on this channel.
While you're here, hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you won't miss out on any of our great upcoming content.
Speaking of content, don't forget to check out our website, superheroespeak.com, where you can find the podcast, links to our social media, merch, comic reviews, and so much more. That's superheroespeak.com.
Thanks for watching, and don't let your cape be caught in the door. See you next time.